Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to the Naturally Yours podcast, where we celebrate our beautiful women of color while spotlighting their success and bringing more awareness to our natural hair. So, I'm Ty the Natural, your host, and today for episode 15, I have the pleasure of interviewing one of my very special queens who is a published author, and she is known by the name Butterfly Thoughts. Help me welcome, aka Miss Kimberly, to the stage. Hey, my Butterfly Thoughts.
Hey, my beautiful Ty. How are you, Queen?
I am doing wonderful. I am so happy you are here so we can share your story with the world and let them know what all you have going
Mhm.
on.
Yes, ma'am. So, hey, everyone. I am Kimberly, aka whatever else, however you decide to call me. Just make sure you put some respect on it, like our sister V said.
Okay.
uh, I am a author and an empowerment coach. That's what I do.
Yes, ma'am. So y'all heard my sis. She is a published author and an empowerment coach. Powerful. Powerful. So to start it all off so y'all can get to know my girl Butterfly Thoughts a little bit better. Kim, why don't you tell us a little bit about where Butterfly Thoughts came from? And then tell us a little bit about your background and what made you become an author.
Okay, so where the name Butterfly Thoughts came from. So, a couple of years ago, I kept bumping into a lot of butterflies. And I want to say, not this summer that just passed, the summer before, I was standing on my balcony and a butterfly came onto my balcony while I was standing there and circled around me. And then it flew off. And then another time again, my mother told me when I wasn't home, a butterfly came onto the balcony, flew around on the balcony, like if it was looking for something, and flew off again. So, um, when I decided, my two of my girlfriends, which is like sisters and cousins, to me, they was like, "Yo, you got so much insight in everything you say. We always come to you for advice and stuff like that. Why don't you try to turn that into something?" One of them was like, "I will pay you for all the insight that you give me all the time." And I was like, "Okay, but I don't know how, where, when, how I'm gonna do that. And there's no blueprint to it. So how am I gonna do that?" They was like, "I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I know you're gonna figure out a way." So one day, I'm, talking with the hubby, and I was telling him, I'm trying to figure out how I can turn what I do on a normal into a business. He was like, "Well, I'm not sure, but maybe we could come up with a name, and then from there it will, blossom itself." I
Right.
said, "Okay, so what name will we call it?" He goes, "Well, why don't you do something with butterflies since you've been having so much interactions with butterflies?" I said, "Okay, that makes sense." Mhm. So one night I went to sleep. Saturday morning I woke up and I'm just laying in the bed, just chilling, and I heard a voice say, "Butterfly thought." I said, "Ooh, okay. I think I like that."
Right.
I don't know where the voice came from. I don't know where the voice came from. But I was like, I think I like, hello, you already know. And then I got this gut feeling of, oh, I got to get this thing LLC. Once I got that gut feeling, it was over from there. I didn't know where I was going with it, what I was going to do with it, nothing. All I know is I needed to get that name LLC.
Right.
And I said, okay, the one person that I do know, which is a girlfriend that I went to high school with, she has several businesses. And I was like, you know what? I know she got LLCs. Let me call her up and find out how to do this thing.
Hmm.
So I called her. She was like, huh? You ready for that? I was like, girl, as ready as I'll ever be. Because I don't know where I hear it. I heard this voice say butterfly thoughts, and and I just got this feeling that I gotta go to LLC. Let's go. Let's do it. So I think it was that Tuesday or that Wednesday, I went and got an LLC. From there, I kid you not, within like a week or two, that's when, well, Ash had been fell into my life. I always was connected to Ash because I went to school with Ash. But from there, I started to listen to Ash more. And then Ramaya dropped into my lap, V dropped into my lap, CJ dropped into my lap. And as I as I'm listening to them, I'm like, oh, okay. And now I'm like, everything is starting to fall into place. And
Yes.
as things fell into place, I was like, okay, this is it.
Yes.
So that's how, hence how the name Butterfly Thoughts came into play, and how I realized what my purpose was and is, and my mission is to heal people. I call myself the mental metamorphosis, where I help heal and mend people broken wings.
Right.
So
Yes, I
that's
love
it.
it. I love the story. I love how the butterflies kept circling you and how hubby was like, you should do something with those butterflies. Like, I love how, everything was almost done intentionally. Like, intentional. Like,
Right.
it was the butterflies twice.
Yes.
Then your cousins or nieces were saying, yeah, we need you to our person to help, empower us and help give us inspiration and advice. So that kind of got your wheels twirling, and it's all about solving problems, and you was solving problems, so it
Absolutely.
it came
And it's
full
nothing
circle.
that, right. And it's nothing that I've ever, it's not something that, oh, I just never done before. I've
Right.
always give people a different perspective to look at
Yes.
things from.
Yes.
No matter who it is, as long as we're like having a conversation
Uh-huh.
and something comes up and they're like, oh, well, this and this and that. Wait, wait, hold on. How about you look at it from this angle?
Right.
How about you look at it from that angle
Mm-hmm.
versus from your only your angle and your perspective?
Yes.
Broaden your horizons and see it from a different point of view, because that's when we start to understand each other,
Yes.
and that's when we start to have that empathy for each other and know where how we deal with situations where it comes is when we start to understand one another.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
That's the power of
so that's what I'm
communication.
about. Absolutely,
Yes.
communication is key. Communication is key. No matter what
Yes.
relationship it is, it could be a mother daughter, it could be a husband and wife, it could be boyfriend and girlfriend, best friends, good friends, whatever. It don't matter what relationship it is. Communication is key. Period.
Right. Yes. Yes. Agree. You can't do nothing without it. And part of communication is listening. You have to listen in order to communicate. You can't be the one talking all the time. Because how are you listen? How are you using these? And it's what's so important is there's a reason why God gave us one mouth and two ears. Because He wants you to listen first. He wants you to listen hard before you open up that mouth.
One, two. That's all I gotta say.
Yes. Yes. So I was going to go into the question of why did you become an entrepreneur, but I feel that we already kind of gauged the answer here. Like we kind of already got the answer from your nieces. They
Just
were coming to you for advice and others.
right.
And
So that's part of it. But
okay.
I've gotten more into, you know, listening to our mentors, all our mentors,
Yes.
and coaches. As I start listening to them more, it and listening to others that we are connected to, it got my wheels turning where, oh, we multiple streams of income don't necessarily mean you got to have five different jobs,
Right. Right.
right? It means that you have one product and it has branch, that's the stump of the tree, and then you have branches off that one thing that branches off into other things, but it's still off of that one thing.
Yes.
So that's when I got that thing of, oh, well, I can have multiple streams of income. I can still have my job, but I can still have multiple streams of income and not make it so difficult. Because when we are younger, it's, oh, you got to go to school to get a job. You go to school, you get a job, and that's where you stay for the rest of your life, right?
Right.
But nobody knows and nobody teaches us that you have to have other streams of income or know how to invest or know how to um buy property or whatever the case is to have multiple streams of income. Nobody tells you, oh, you could write a book so you can
Mm-mm.
have multiple streams of income.
Nope.
Because off one book, you can have up to 10 streams of income, which people don't understand.
Talk about it, butterfly.
Okay? And probably even more than that.
Okay.
This whole internet social media thing, you can have multiple streams of income off of the one thing.
Yes. 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 For
So,
sure.
once I got that concept in my brain, I was like, oh, this is not as hard as I thought.
It's
Hey,
really not. As soon as you get the gems,
it is.
you get a little knowledge, start doing your due diligence, we'll
Absolutely.
figure it out. You definitely will. If you really want it bad enough, you're going to figure it out.
Right. But the thing is, when you got to bet on yourself and
Yes.
you got to jump out there with both feet, not just tiptoe into the tulips,
Right. You got
jump
to.
in it with both feet. Because that's betting on yourself. You have to bet on yourself and have that faith that you are going to get to where you need to get. It's got to work or it's got to work, according to Neo, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to work
So
or it's got to
let's
work.
make it work.
And don't
Let's make
go
it happen.
adding a plan B. Keep your plan A and work the plan A only. Because if you put a plan B behind it, you're basically telling yourself plan A is not going to work.
Boom.
So
Exactly.
concentrate on plan A only.
Right. You concentrate once you concentrate on plan A only, know that plan A can have multiple branches that comes off of them. That one
Yes.
plan A, you can have multiple streams of income. And you don't even you won't even understand that concept until you allow your mind to open up and
Yes.
see things in a bigger perspective versus this small thing right here.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. So moving on to our next question, Butterfly.
Uh-huh.
What are some obstacles that you have faced while, you know, becoming this entrepreneur? While you've been going down this journey, what are some obstacles you faced and how did you overcome them?
Hmm. I would say, hmm. I would say not your friends not quite understanding where your business is going or what your business is about.
Okay.
They support you, yes,
Okay.
but they don't quite understand where what your business is
Gotcha.
or what you trying to do.
Right. Which it
So,
technically is not for them to understand, right?
right. I was just gonna say that. It's not for your vision. God gave you a vision. He gave everybody their own vision.
Mm-hmm.
And once you realize what your vision is
Right.
when you're gonna be able, it will be. no way that no one be able to tell you, oh, you can't do that, and you stop because you think you can't do it. Once that vision is clear, it's not for them to be clear. It will become clear once you continue to be diligent and and walk in the footsteps of your purpose.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I definitely agree. God's going to send you whatever you need, and it's not for nobody else to understand. It's only for you to understand. So don't
Correct.
get mad at other
And
people not understanding why your goals are so high or why your dream is so big. They're not supposed to understand. It's not their dream, it's your dream.
right.
But support is
And
free, and
they are
hopefully your
also
friends is supporting because you need supportive friends around you. If not,
right.
I don't think
But
I
I
don't
must say that God is going to put the necessary people in your path. So
yes.
don't worry about your immediate friends, your immediate family circle. Don't worry about them.
Right.
'Cause-
God gonna put the people
But
that
God
need to
will
be in
put
your corner.
certain people in your way that will be in your corner, that will push you to continue doing the things that you need to do to bring your business off the ground
Yes. Agreed, sis. Agreed. He will do it. He do it every time.
every time. Every time.
Yes. So, Butterfly, why don't you tell the audience what do you see for your business in the future? What you got new coming, girl? Or what is something you want to accomplish new in your business?
So right now I am working on, well, first of all, well, we can go talk about that. So I've already finished one book, but I'm working on a second. Um,
Ooh, so
yes, I
happy
am
for
working
you.
on, yes, because I got the bug now. So I am working on the second one.
Okay.
It's going to be a little bit more interactive than the first one. So
Okay.
I'm going to leave it there. The next thing, which I'm doing right now, is shining a light on entrepreneurs around the world.
Yes.
Where, I've been meeting a lot of wonderful and amazing people from all over the world
Mm-hmm.
that they have the platform that they have, and they're only really known where they are.
Right.
And we have such a big country here where we have so many people, and they just need that one person to connect to them, where they start getting other people to notice who they are, and start connecting to them. And once
Mm-hmm.
they get those people, now they can really say, okay, you know what? This is really good. I had my first guest was a young lady from Canada, and she did. It was really good. I enjoyed her perspective on her business and everything like that. She does sleepwear,
What
and
kind of wear?
then sleepwear,
Pink wear?
sleep.
Sleepwear. Got you. Sorry about that.
Mhm. And then the second guest that I have, his name was Darrell. He came from he's in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he is a motivational speaker as well.
Oh,
And from doing that live, I got connected to at least 8 more people that started following me.
that's awesome. That's
So I
awesome.
know that he got some more connections as well. So I just want to, shine a light on, these people and people who are now starting out their business, even right here in the United States, who still in the beginning stages of their entrepreneurial journey.
Right.
So am I, but I've gotten connected to so many great people who has pulled me along, has done podcasts and interviews with me to pull me up. So I decided to turn around and lend a helping hand as well and pull others.
Right.
So I have my schedule is filling up fast.
That's what's
I
up,
have
girl.
yes. So I think I have maybe because I decided only to do it for the month of March. Just because one, it was Women's Month, and two, because of women, we have a whole population of people,
Yes.
men and women. So I was like, you
Hmm.
know what? Let this be the month where I just shine a light on entrepreneurs
Yes.
around the world and uniting each other and bringing people, bringing us together and pulling each other up.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yes.
I love it. I love it. You so sweet anyway. So I know everyone you bring on is going to just love you to buttons. So let's get into this natural hair, girl. So
Lord
why
God.
don't you tell us, girl, have you always been natural or did you happen to get a relaxer? And if you did you do the big chop or did you transition? And how did that work out for you?
So I have not always been natural.
Okay.
I did perm my hair for many years. And my hair the last no, I won't say the last time I permed it, but maybe the last couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Um one time I had perm my well, I had did like a rinse in my hair
Mm-hmm.
or a dye. I don't know if it was a dye or a rinse, but it wasn't one of those where I had to do bleaching. So thank God for that.
Yes.
But cousin-in-law of mine did it, and I was like, okay. And so he gave it a little purple highlights and whatnot. I was like, all right, cool, I can deal with that. But then about 2 weeks later, I came.
Mm-hmm.
Now this was in Canada that I did it. I came back home about 2 weeks later, and it was time for my perm.
Mm.
So I did my perm. Girl, when I tell you this whole section of my hair was gone, all I had was a piece here
Oh
and
no.
like maybe this much on top. All of this was gone.
Oh my
Girl,
gosh.
girl. When I tell you,
Girl.
I was like, what in the hell? Okay.
Girl, you
So
sound like
after
my war
that,
story.
my yes. My hairdresser that did was like, you gonna
Your
have to have
hairdresser
a
did
short
this to
hairstyle.
you?
Well,
Okay, let's
she
back up
she
just for a
my
second.
hair. Okay,
Okay.
so we go back all the way up.
So she
So
permed it.
when I did the color, that was done in
Mm-hmm.
Canada by a cousin-in-law, right?
Oh.
So when I came back home about
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks later, it was time to perm my hair. So because it was time to perm my hair, I went into the hairdresser, got my hair done, and she was like, "Girl, we're gonna have to give you a short style." I said, "Okay." She cut down the back, and we did like the little curlies and slicked down to the side and in the back, and that's how I was able to rock it. But all my hair was gone pretty much, and I did. It
You
wasn't
poor
like
thing.
was it wasn't long either. It was like maybe here to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think my hair ever been past my shoulders, to be honest. Um, but after that,
That's a
I was
lot
like,
of women,
okay,
actually.
right. So after that, I just thought eventually, well, that's just how our hairs is gonna be because we just don't got that gene for long hair.
Which
That's
is
what I
not true. Which is not true at all.
think.
Um,
So,
the reason for
um,
shoulder length plateau is because we don't know how to have length retention where we're taking care of our ends, where we're trimming them when they are needed, not just trimming them to be trimming them, but trimming them when you actually have split ends. Because
Right. And that
everybody's
was
hair is
part
different.
of my
So you
problem
don't
too.
have to trim just because somebody says you need to trim every 30 days or every 60 days. No, but you should look at your hair every 6 to 8 weeks and evaluate how your ends look. And if they do need a trim, then you need to trim them. But the reason
Right.
why is
And I
because
think
we
that's
over
part of the problem
manipulate
because
our hair.
the hairdresser
It's
that I used to go to,
rubbing. It's quite a few things.
right,
But go right ahead, sis.
right. The hairdresser that I used to go to, I just find that yeah, they knew about hair, but I don't think they knew enough about hair, and especially
Hmm.
you know the coils here. Like it wasn't to say it wasn't our people. It was our people.
Okay. Okay.
I
Well,
don't
then
think they even
they
their own
probably
hair
didn't then,
to the
sis.
to take care of right. And when you go to these hair schools, what do they teach you about? They don't teach you about coils
European. European hair. Not about
here.
our hair.
Exactly. So they never get that education of how to deal with our
Exactly.
own hair. They just think, okay,
Right.
well, you gotta be treated just like everybody else here, gotta be treated the same.
And see,
And
that's where I
perms,
come in at.
right. So after that, now a couple of years after that, I still was, perming and whatnot. And then for a while, I started just braiding and kept braiding and just left it in the braids. I could go
Hmm.
like a good 2, 3 months with my hair being in the same braid and not be it. I'm good. I'm good. Like I don't. For me, I don't like anything that is gonna take too much time. It's only now, like in the last past year, maybe 2 years, that I am now appreciating my hair texture, and trying to know how to be able to comb or do my hair. Only now.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't always love mine either, girl. And I've been natural 7 years now. But I did not love
Mhm,
my hair when I originally transitioned because I
mhm.
didn't like the shrinkage. I didn't know how to properly take care of it. So it was dry, it seemed like all the time. I couldn't do nothing with it. So it was like an afro all the time. Like, which nothing's wrong with an afro, but it needs to be moisturized. It needs to be
You see this, right?
properly hydrated. You need to actually take care of it. And I wasn't taking care of it. Well, I was trying. I just didn't know how to take care of it. So girl, I had
I'm lazy when it comes to my hair.
huh.
I'm so, I'm so lazy when it comes to my hair.
So are a lot of people though. You're not the only one. There are a ton of women, which is why a lot of women go to these relaxers because it's easier. They don't want to deal with actually taking the time to learn their actual texture. And it's really sad
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
relaxers do nothing but harm us. They give us breast cancer, which is there's a 80% chance. Then
I learned
it
that from
causes
you.
mood changes. It even causes memory loss. And you guys and then people still want to use these chemicals. So I'm that's why I'm
I
just
see, I've learned it from you because from the time you started, I was like, ooh, it made me go back to times that my grandmother, God rest her soul, when she did a perm, no, she didn't do a perm, she did a dye. And this was for my right before my high school graduation. She did a dye and it gave her such a bad allergic reaction. All her face puffed up. Her whole entire face puffed up so bad. And then it was like dimples all in her face. All over. And I was so when you say these things, I'm like, wow, that this now
Yes.
makes sense.
Yes. Yes. It does. And my grandma, God rest her soul, she died from cancer. She got cancer 3 times. Breast cancer twice. Third time, bone cancer. And she did relaxers and she did hair dyes all the time. So
All the
that's
time.
how I
Yep.
know that there is truth in, research and learning about these chemicals because I watched my grandmother suffer from this. So I that's why
Yes.
I'm so team natural and why I want
Mhm.
everyone to get back to their roots, get back to loving who you truly are, loving your roots, loving your coils,
Oh,
loving your kinks.
absolutely.
Because these chemicals
Absolutely.
is here to take us out, period. That's what they're here for. That's what they're
Like
designed for.
everything else in this world.
Yes. Yes. So be
Everything else.
natural, go natural, use natural products because these chemicals are detrimental to our health and to our hair.
Right.
So after you permed it
Yes, it is.
and all of and then you got a short style, what happened
Um,
after that?
well, eventually, it grew back out and whatnot, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was still permanent after a while after that. And I would say for a good while, for a good few years after that.
Okay.
And then I decided to just start wearing braids a lot. And once I started wearing the braids, like that's all I was doing was braids, braids, braids. And then when I did take the braids out and I did want to do something fresh, like if it was summertime or whatever, what I would do is do a blow dry, like blow it out with the Dominicans, let them blow dry it out, wash and blow dry and whatever, let it get straight. And then eventually my hair did a weird thing where it decided that it would no longer coil. No matter how much I washed it, it will coil a little bit, but not as much as it needed to coil.
Gotcha.
So then eventually I stopped doing that and just put my hair back in the braids until I want to say um about 8 or 9 years ago when I went fully natural. But of course, I don't know a lot of people if a lot of people understand after perming your hair for so long and when you decide to transition, um it takes a while for all of that perm and that chemicals to fully come out because there's a layer of it under your scalp. So it takes a while for all of that layers to come out. So that's why your hair don't go back to just being kinky and coily like it's supposed to right away. Your hair will go through different changes and the different texture changes to get back to your natural state.
Right.
So I think over the last past 5, 6 years, it's actually been straight um natural curly coiled hair back
Got,
to the original state that it was in.
gotcha.
So, but I have been natural. I've been transition. I transitioned for about 3 or 4 years, and then so I
Gotcha.
did not do the big chop. What I did was put my hair in braids,
That's what I
and
did.
then clipped it as it
Yep.
as it grew out. I clipped it a
Hmm.
little bit as it grew out a little bit. So yeah,
Gotcha.
that's what I
That's exactly what I did too, sis. I sure did.
did. Hmm.
I felt like I don't look good with a big chop, so I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna grow out this perm, chop it off, put me in some braids, and call it one.
Exactly. Like let's call it a day. Hmm.
Exactly.
It's only
Exactly.
now in the last past year and a half, maybe 2 years, that I'm like really truly embracing it all
Mm-hmm.
and allowing my hair to be, in twists and, out like this. Like I would have never done this 4 or 5 years ago. Have my hair out like this. because again, I did not know how to deal with it. I didn't know
Right.
how to take care of it. And now I'm starting to understand it a little bit more. I'm
Yes.
understanding that my hair needs water in order for it to be moist.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it does,
Moisture.
my hair cannot, like right now it feels dry. And mind you, I put moisturizer this morning in my hair.
Did you seal it? Did you seal in the moisture with some oil?
I probably no.
Okay, you got to make sure you do that, sis, because if you don't, the moisture is going to evaporate and it's going to be back dry. You got to seal in the moisture.
So what oils do you use to seal in your moisture? Use
Recommend that
to
you use something like Jamaican black castor oil. That's a really
okay.
good sealer for me. It seals in my moisture really, really good. You
But
can
is it
also,
scalp?
what was that?
Isn't that for the scalp? Not
Uh-uh.
necessarily the
Not Jamaican black castor oil. Mm-mm. You can also use shea
okay.
butter too. You can use shea butter
Oh
too.
really?
Shea butter penetrates the strands, but it will also help keep your hair moisturized too. But
Okay. I'm gonna take a picture of um I have this body butter and hair moisturizer in one. I'm gonna take a picture of it
hmm
and send and
okay,
so you could tell
cool.
me.
Okay, no problem. But yes, make sure you're sealing in that moisture so that it don't seep out, sis. And I also send you a list as well of some other oils. So
Okay.
before we go, I really, really appreciate you coming on the podcast today, Miss Butterfly Thoughts. I really, really enjoyed you. I
Thank
enjoyed your
you.
story. I enjoyed your book. Make sure y'all go look her up. So she's about to tell y'all where y'all can find her so that you can get your copy of Quotes of a Butterfly.
Yes. So you can get this lovely book
And it is lovely. It's got
at
affirmations in it.
yes. So I'm gonna show y'all a little something something. Hopefully you can see it. So it has
What is
these
for
quotes.
you is for you.
That's right. And then on the other side has another quote, and then it has for you to like really take a look deep down within yourself to see, just to let you think of things from a different perspective, on a different point of view, and start reflecting on your life and bringing things, up that needs to be uprooted and out your life. So, and then you have enough space to write in here, and also on the other page you have another page to write. And that's the gist of my book, is a lot of journaling, a lot of reflecting on your life, a lot of taking insight onto your life and where you have gone wrong in different situations in your life, just to make you think, you know? So that's the book. Go on
Yes.
Amazon.com, put in
It,
quotes of a butterfly, and it will come right on up, and you'll
and
be able to purchase a copy.
and tell them where they can follow you on IG and your other handles.
Butterfly Thoughts LLC, no dot. Um, and that's where I'm at right now. I am working on other platforms eventually. Um, and my email address is Butterfly Thoughts LLC, um, gmail.com, and my website is Butterfly Thoughts LLC.com. Here we go. Now I
Gotcha.
got it everything.
And her IG is Butterfly Thoughts
Dot LLC.
dot LLC. Thank you, sis. So thank you for being here today, sis. Y'all make sure y'all tune in, like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast if you have not already. And thank you for listening and tuning in with us for episode 15. And we out of here. Bye.
Bye.